Hey everybody, Matt Hartman here for Drunkard's Walk. Thanks so much for listening, and thank you to Jesse L.E. for our theme music and Nick Jaramillo for the artwork that he has done for our logo. And if you are new to Drunkard's Walk, welcome to you, whether you've come to us from Escape This Podcast, or maybe Good Job Brain, or maybe you just found us on iTunes or wherever it is you're listening to podcasts. We love that you are listening, and we hope that you are enjoying the show. If you are, please give us a rating or review on iTunes or wherever you're listening to this, and check out our link tree. That's linktr.ee/drunkardswalk. You can get all of our information there. You can send us an email. You could fill out the form to give us a topic suggestion, and then you may be a guest on the show as well. Now, a little heads up about this episode you're about to hear. We unfortunately had a little bit of a audio issue, so my sound is not great. I apologize 100% for that. I wish that we could have gone back and re-recorded. We just did not have that opportunity. So this week, my recording a little bit rough. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I wish I could fix it, but I can't. So next week, it'll all be back to normal. And hey, if you hate it, just, skip this one. You can just move on, right? You could just, no, you want to make sure you hear it. Well, go ahead, give it a listen, and you let me know. Take care and enjoy the show. Hey everybody, welcome to Drunkard's Walk, the podcast. It's me, Matt Hartman. I'm one of the hosts of Drunkard's Walk, and I'm here to welcome you in to this wonderful, cozy space that we come to about once a week, at least for, let's say 15 weeks in a row. And then we take little breaks and we take some time off, because absence makes the heart grow fonder. And that is the motto of the man who is my co-host. It's none other than Jethro Nolan.
Wait a minute. Absence makes the... So you're saying you prefer being away from me? Is that what I'm hearing?
No.
Yeah. All right. Fine. That's no. You've man. You're starting with the snark really early, Matt.
There's only so far as I can go. You've given me fake middle initials. You've described me with words that I can't even remember at this point, but weren't particularly complimentary. So I just figured it was turnabout is fair play, as they say.
Well, you're horning in on my territory because I'm the unpleasant one in this pair.
True.
You're the likable, nice guy that draws the audience in, and I'm the little hint of acid or vinegar or lemon juice that gives it depth of flavor.
Yeah, that's just true. And lemon juice, good for you. Mix it in with your water when you drink it every now and again. Make sure you don't get any kidney stones. Good stuff.
That's good. Well, and I know you speak from experience with that. So
it wasn't a good time. I'll tell you that right now. But what we do have for a good time every week is our little walks through Wikipedia here. And for those that haven't listened before, you might be unfamiliar and you might not know how we make this whole thing work. And what we do is we start on a Wikipedia page, and that is the page that we ended at last week. And last week, I got to say, Jethro, I have to continue to shower praise upon our guest from last week. Karen from Good Job Brain. It was just so awesome having her here and talking to her. Mm-hmm. Of course, she gave us the destination of Castoreum. So that is where we will be starting our walk today. And then we end at some other random point that I think, if I'm remembering correctly, Jethro, we just make it up. We just make up a word and then we go to it. Is that
no, Matt? No, not at all. I can't believe that this deep into season 9, you haven't remembered how the podcast work. What we do is we have a guest on who tells us the destination after we do a little bit of banter.
Right. Yes.
I am thrilled and delighted to welcome to the podcast a man that I have known for, I want to say pert near 30 years. An old college improv buddy, Mr. Chad Haught. Welcome to the cast, Chad.
Somebody say my name?
Hi, Chad.
Yes, multiple times.
So glad you said pert near.
I caught myself. I almost said like nigh on, and
nigh
then
on. I heard that. Yeah.
I reached deep into the Freudian slip collective unconscious and grabbed pert near, which was an inside joke for our college improv troupe. And that was, man, I guarantee none of those motherfuckers are listening to this. So you're the only one that joke was for. So
I think the trick is invite them to be on. They'll listen to the last episode. They listened to the
Yeah.
first couple and then forgot. Feel terrible about it. I'm just
Mm.
making a bunch of assumptions here.
No, I don't think I don't think they listened to the first couple, and I also don't think they feel terrible about it. I feel like neither of those happened.
Yeah.
But welcome, Chad. So we've known
Thank
each
you.
other forever, man.
We have, yeah, since the college improv days. And Jethro, if I may, share
Yeah.
a moment that we had on stage one time in
No,
college.
Oh boy.
Please
Oh
do.
boy.
No, we were playing
is this having to do with Peter Pan?
No, that's a close second. But
Okay.
kill yourself.
What horrible thing did I do on stage that you are now?
No, this was a bright shining moment. We were playing a guessing game, and I believe it was like it was clarinet was the word we were trying to get. And you had just given a clue, but you had another good one, so you didn't want to go back out there, believe it or not.
This tracks. Okay. Go
So
ahead.
he sets me up with like, open the door, but have the door like fly open, like, really loud and hit the thing. And then whenever you come in, go, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Would wind have caused that to happen?
Ooh, baby.
And yeah, sure enough, it got like bigger laugh than I had gotten in a while. So I'll take it.
Wow. That is wow. I'm glad that a memory that completely eludes me has
Oh, wow.
stuck in your brain
Yeah.
for that long.
See, I just remember the positives, Jethro.
Well, you're a positive guy, which is why I like you, because I have to surround myself with positive people because I'm a jaded, cynical, crusty old man. And I would say I was even a jaded, cynical, crusty old man when we first met when we were in our early 20s.
Mm.
Yeah.
What tracks, yeah.
Would you agree with that, Chad? Yeah. Was that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jethro's definitely a third, fourth impression guy.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah,
Sure. I mean, I'd love to know more about it. I mean, the Young Jethro Chronicles is certainly a thing that I would love to take part in and know more about, because I only got to meet this guy about 10 years ago, so I've only known him in the let's call it the twilight of his life. And I'm more interested in I'm interested in knowing like what he was like, kind of in that midlife that we would call it in his early 20s.
So I will say, Matt, that like by the time I met you, I had been refined through years of marriage and patient training by my wife to where I'm much more presentable and socially trained now than I was when Chad met me. But I will say this, I have a number of people that I've known for 30 plus years that still tolerate my presence. So I take that as a sign that I can't be that horrible of a human being. Although I completely agree with Chad's assessment that I'm more of a third or fourth impression guy.
Mm-hmm. There were times whenever I would meet somebody who had met Jethro through Chicago or improv, wherever. And I'd be like, oh, I would say something that, we would have had in common. He was like, oh, I know somebody that went to Texas A&M or whatever. And then I would go, Jethro Nolan? And they'd be like, yeah. And then it would always be one of those things like, should I say I like him or which direction do I take this?
I need names, Chad. I need names of people.
Okay. I'll make a list.
Get some details. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's all right. I know who I am. So I'm aware of the effect that I can have on people. For me, it keeps people, superficial folks at bay, and only the true believers can get into the inner sanctum like you two.
Amen.
So Chad, you are doing something pretty amazing, and you've got a YouTube channel, and I want you to talk about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Tell me about your van conversion.
Yeah. Okay. This is fun. So, my wife and I bought a Ram ProMaster van, like a delivery van, and it was, gutted basically. And so we're building it out as a camper van to take on trips. And the name of the YouTube channel is Haught Air. My last name is Haught, Haught. It's like haughty without the attitude, as my grandmother would say.
Nice.
It's called Haught Air, and we're just videoing us figuring things out. Basically, it's a lot of fun. I was watching videos online of people that were like traveling around in vans, and I'm thinking like, wow, that'd be so much fun. I always wanted to go to like the national parks, but like, I'm live in Dallas. Like, am I just gonna like fly somewhere near Yosemite? Like, how does that work? So I'd watch videos of people like waking up and like opening the sliding door, the back doors, and there's like a national park or mountains or ocean, and that was so cool. And so my kids have gotten older now to where we can start kind of doing whatever we want. And so I just, watching these videos and asked my wife one day, I was like, I think that'd be so fun. Would you think that would be fun? And she was like, oh yeah, I would love that. And I was like, what? So started looking for a van. We bought a Ram ProMaster. It's yellow. It's a very yellow van. And so we're just documenting the build and some of the travels that we started to do. We're about halfway through with it. It's got, a bed, and it's got a refrigerator and electricity and, all that stuff, solar panels and battery power and all that good stuff. So we can be off the grid for a little bit in it. But, it's a ton of fun. We're loving it. We're having a good time.
Wow. Yeah. That sounds amazing. Yeah. That sounds like, what's that guy's name? The Into the Wild guy.
The guy who died?
Chris McCandless. Well, I mean, up until a certain point, it sounds like that.
Yeah. What a happy spin you've put
on.
What
I'm saying, he did that. He had that kind of, that go out into nature, take the van. I mean, that sounds amazing.
So Chad, the positive is that you're doing this with your wife, so you'll die together.
Right. Exactly. And that's how else do you want to do it?
Yeah. Between that and 127 hours, I try to be prepared.
Yeah.
Have you?
So the van is yellow. Have you ever considered like painting it in a school bus theme?
No, and we got yellow. So when you start looking at vans, you look at they're all white or maybe gray if you're lucky. Mm-hmm. So as soon as I saw one that was yellow, I was like, oh, interesting. I don't know, maybe because I thought that'd be cool to just be different or stand out or whatever. So we have nicknamed it Banana because it's
nice.
Really yellow. It almost looks like it would have been like a DHL delivery van, like that color.
Yeah. Sure.
But there was never any logos or anything on it. It was yellow.
That's crazy. Yeah. Cool. You don't see a lot of yellow. I mean, really, honestly.
So when you do, people are gonna be like, "Oh, what is this?
Yeah, what's going on here? Those guys must be going off into the woods to die." That's probably what they're
saying. Wow. Are you taking a heel turn on this?
Did I bring that back? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It's stuck in my head there. I can't.
I don't know that you brought it back. It never went away. Like it's been a constant refrain. I don't remember any podcasts where like your friends came on and I talked about their deaths incessantly. Didn't you? I feel like that's a real Jethro move.
It's all very subtext for you though. I feel like there's a lot happening that I'm just unaware of. So just my constant subtext is I hope you die. Whoa. Let's be clear. I don't hope that Chad dies. I hope that he doesn't. Actually,
but Chad, odds are.
I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that's true because I hope that someday you do. I don't think that people living forever is a great idea. I really don't. But I don't want it to happen soon. Wow. I certainly don't want it to happen in the van. So let's just be clear. I hope I've just met you. I hope you have fantastic adventures in this van. Thanks, and I think it sounds amazing. And now I want to do the same thing.
Well, I hope you die one day too.
Thank you. See, this is how human beings should talk to each other.
That's right.
There you go. But no one dies because we're all born again in heaven. Isn't that right? All right. So moving on. Right. I will say though, like check out Hot Air on YouTube.
Yes,
like the videos
sounds awesome.
Very successful. Hundreds of views per video. I tried to do it a
double the success of this podcast.
More than double, I would say.
Listen, we hit like over 200 subscribers on the channel, and like we're through the moon, and then it slowly dropped down to like 197 on the way down. But
wait a minute,
we bounced back up over the 200. So
okay, good.
Things are looking up.
There you go. I mean, you do have a incredible view from Clemson Football Stadium, where you got some guy's butt cheeks. You can see his coin slot there on the old YouTube page.
With like content creation stuff, I've learned you have to like constantly churn out just shorts and stuff because that's how people like stay with you or whatever. And I haven't done it in several weeks now. So, but yeah, so it posts a lot of dumb shorts on there as well, like guy's butt crack.
During the pandemic, like I had this idea that my family would play board games and kind of like an elimination. So we'd play 2 board games and we'd vote one as the winner. And like, we got a few dozen views on the first episode and the second episode, a few less, and it eventually atrophied. And eventually my wife and daughter were like, we don't want to do this anymore. So I was like, okay, well.
So you'd vote out the board game to determine which board game was superior?
Correct. And ideally, like theoretically, it was going to be like a bracket, so we would have one big winner, but we never made it that far. And so also during the pandemic, we didn't want to go anywhere, so we bought like clippers, and Christy shaved my head. And just for giggles, I taped it and put it up on my YouTube channel, and that got like 300 views.
Of course.
And it's like, and it's so frustrating to be like, I'm going to put a lot of time and effort into shooting and editing and thoughtfully crafting content for the YouTubes and get dozens of views. And then I shave my head and then it gets 300 views. And the weirdest fucking comments ever. Like, you could have gone shorter.
Well, so Jethro, we did a similar thing around Halloween time here. I decided to do a costume that was a little bit different. I dressed in all black with a black like hood mask over my face, and the only thing exposed was one hand, and in that hand I held a lightsaber, and I was Luke Skywalker's hand. From Star Wars.
I like it.
So my wife hadn't seen it yet. She wanted to see it, and she wanted to record me walking down the hall and into the kitchen, showing her the costume. So I did, and that TikTok got 1.2 million views.
That is awesome.
And like I've been making this podcast for 9 seasons. I make all kinds of stuff that I put online. Can't get more than 50, 60 people to look at it.
Well, Matt, I'll say this: maybe in the near future I will die, and you will have predicted it, and this podcast will blow up.
Oh no! Oh no! I don't want that. That is not why I want my fame. Pass. I absolve myself. Wow. I'm sorry. I take it all. I take everything I've said. We're gonna stop. We're gonna re-record it all.
It's already out. It's already out there, Matt. It's already out there.
Live. It's not live, Jethro.
It's too late.
Zoom knows.
It's too late. I'm live streaming the Zoom.
Are you?
Zoom knows.
No wonder nobody downloads our podcast.
Well, our videos in our podcast, they all go on a journey of some kind, and we're going to go on a journey on this podcast.
What a segue!
Are those journeys a labor? Because that was a lot of work getting to that, boy.
You're both throwing a lot of stones for people who didn't man up and do the segue yourselves. So, Chad, where are we going? Where's our destination?
Our destination is one of my favorite TV shows growing up, called Sledgehammer.
Oh my God!
Did you ever watch this show?
I've seen it. I don't know that I've seen a lot of it, but I've definitely seen it.
It was only 2 seasons. It was back in like 87, 88-ish, I think. And as a kid, I loved the show. And I think it was on the same time as The Cosby Show. And so like nobody in my family would watch it, but I would like go to the other TV that we had to watch it. But it was a cop comedy show with the main character. He was Sledgehammer. He was like an inspector detective or whatever for the San Francisco Police Department, and it was like based off of like, I'll say like Clint Eastwood character. It's just like gravel voice. He carried like a silver 44 Magnum with a pearl handle on it, and he was always he would do target practice in his apartment. And like there's an episode where they're like hiding in this closet and the lights are on, and so he says, "Kill the lights." He pulls out his gun to shoot the lights out versus like just flipping a switch. So two of my favorite things about the show were there was an episode I remember where he was poisoned at some point in the episode, and so he had a certain amount of time to find the antidote for the poison. He had 24 hours to live. It was the deal, and so at one point in the episode, somebody asked him what time it is, and he looks at his watch. He's like, "My watch stopped working. This thing had a lifetime guarantee." As a 11, 12-year-old kid, I thought that was just one of the funniest things I ever heard. It only lasted 2 seasons. At the end of the first season, they did not think they were getting renewed. So what they thought was the series finale was he was defusing a nuclear warhead and it exploded and blew up the city. And then they got renewed for season 2. So they had to start season 2 with 5 years previous to the explosion.
So we all know how this ends, but
yeah. So anyway, that was that's our destination.
This is crazy. I don't remember this show, though it does sound like vaguely familiar somewhere in the back of my head. Do you remember by any chance who was in this show? Was it any names that we would recognize? David
Rash. You'd know his face if you saw him. If you watch Succession, is probably the last thing I saw him in. He was like he was one of the board members or whatever. It seems like he usually plays like maybe a bad guy and stuff. I can't remember what else he's been. He's been in a lot of things, but like this was the only thing I think he was the star of. Okay. He's actually a Second City alum as well. I didn't know that.
And this was like a half hour thing, or was it like an hour long? Was it just a half hour?
Yeah, half hour. Yeah, they made, back when they were making 22 episode seasons.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did 2 seasons. It's all the same thing.
Interesting. That's crazy. I got to check this out because it sounds fascinating. Whatever it was.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Jethro, question.
So any other perhaps any other perhaps more famous people who were in the show?
Yeah, like his of course they partnered him up with a woman, which he didn't want to be. He didn't want a partner. He certainly didn't want a woman partner. And also the captain was the typical get out of my office, sure. always grumpy, always had a headache because of this guy or whatever. But I don't recognize either one of the people from anything since this show.
Awesome.
All right then.
Great. What network was it on? Was it a CBS or ABC?
Yeah, it would have been one of the main ones. I assume it was like ABC or CBS.
That's really helpful. You assume. Thank you, Chad.
Well, NBC was the Cosby Show, so
yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah,
right. Yeah. That's all we know for sure.
You know what? I'm out of here.
Wow.
No, not before we've milked your brain for the wealth of information that it holds regarding
assumptions that are.
We're essentially interviewing 11-year-old Chad Haught.
Yeah, you really are.
About this.
And so have you seen it since then? Since you saw it when it was on? Have you seen
back in the day when you could have a PC where you could have a DVD driver, you could rip stuff and then make your own DVDs. Mm-hmm. I think I had copies of the DVD, so I made copies of them all, and so I have it on DVD. But that would have been 20 years ago that I watched it. All the episodes are actually on YouTube, so you can go out there and watch them on YouTube. In fact, I went back because I was trying to remember what they did for the second season after they blew up the city, and so I went back and I rewatched the last episode of season 1.
Okay, all right, and it is a comedy, right? It is not like it's not a mixed it wasn't a drama that had a little bit of funny parts. Okay, it's a straight up comedy. Was it in front of a live audience type of comedy, or was it like a single camera type of
single camera? They did add a laugh track, I believe.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it was all like shot out in the city somewhere.
Got it.
But also fairly broad comedy, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Are you mistaken?
I'm like it was very broad comedy. I guess is what I'm trying to establish.
What, have you seen?
What do you mean? What do you
mean
by that?
Why are you referring to it that way?
Broad comedy. Have you?
Why are you referring to it in that way? Have you seen the show? Are you familiar with it?
I've seen the show decades ago. But like the comedy is not subtle or nuanced or like there's a lot of like gags and jokes and things of that nature.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If memory serves. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, yeah, cool. Definitely.
Okay. All right.
They hit you on the head for sure.
With a
sledgehammer.
Yeah, there it is.
And was the Peter Gabriel song "Sledgehammer" the theme song for the show?
Yeah, I think it was actually.
Really?
I think I just read that. So I'm going to say yes.
That's crazy. Okay. Wow.
All right then.
Well, we've got some paths here, Jethro. I think
we do indeed.
I don't know
unless I steered you in the wrong direction with that.
I mean, We've been steered before.
Fun.
Don't worry. It does definitely have a Wikipedia page, though. Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at it. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Great. Good to know.
Cool beans.
Yes, it was. Yeah, that is correct. The Peter
Chad,
Gabriel. Mm-hmm.
we cannot thank you enough. It's always a pleasure catching up with you, and I'm excited to see how much of a pain in the ass it is to get to the Sledgehammer Wikipedia page. But I thank you for coming on.
Thanks, boys. Yeah, I look forward to listening.
Yeah,
talk to you later.
Thanks for coming on, and I wish you a long and prosperous life.
Thank you.
Nice save.
Oh,
nice
no!
save.
Oh, where did he go? Oh.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care, Chad.
All
right, Jethro. Sledgehammer. This is great.
All right, we got some business to take care of here.
Oh, I know about our business. Don't get all up in my business about our business.
Numbers and booze, buddy. Numbers and booze.
Numbers and booze. Numbers and booze. All right, I'm going to write down a number, Jethro.
I have also written down a number.
Have you? All right.
Indeed. And now to the booze.
No, I said I'm going to write down a number. I haven't actually done it yet.
Oh, boy. Take your sweet time, princess.
Okay, I've written down my number. My pen's not working correctly, but it's what the heck? Okay, there we go. Now I got it. All right, the booze, sir. Are you drinking a booze this evening? Are you having a booze?
I am. In fact, I'm back to the old. I did buy some exciting new alcohol in my recent trip to Pittsburgh that I'll share in a future episode. But tonight I'm drinking the old standby Woodford Reserve.
Excellent. Well, let me tell you, Jethro, over the next few episodes, we're going to have a lot of fun here because for my birthday, which was recently, my wife went and got me a bunch of little tiny bottles of different whiskeys. So nice. I've got like 20 different little whiskeys. So I'm going to be, over the next couple seasons, you're going to be seeing all these. But in addition to that, I also have purchased a couple of full bottles. And since one was open and I hadn't brought it on the show yet, I thought I would bring this one on. This is High West Campfire. And this is one of my faves that I haven't been able to find for a long time. It is a blend of straight rye whiskey, which I know a lot of people will say, Matt, what are you doing? Straight bourbon
Matt, what are you doing?
And blended malt Scotch whiskey. So it is like a bourbon flavor with a little bit of smoke to it. That's why they call it Campfire. It's a limited release, and I'm excited to have it back, and I'm excited to be drinking it here tonight. It is one of my faves.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's excellent.
I like a smoky. I like a good smoky. You know what I'm saying? A little smoky.
I hear you. And it's a shame that the listener can't see the adorable hand gesture that you're making.
Smokies. I'm doing
while you're saying it.
Nice little hand gestures.
Keep doing it. It's an audio format.
Yeah,
they'll never see it.
You guys like it? All right, I'll draw a picture. I'll make a t-shirt.
There we go. Another revenue stream for the Drunkard's Walk podcast.
Perfect. Yeah, check out our TeePublic store. Okay. Well, I think we're ready to go. What do you think about that?
I think we're ready to go. Let's do it.
Ready to go.
Let's do it.
Jethro, why are there two cursors on our spreadsheet that are both you? Are you logged in twice? You're doing something weird to our spreadsheet.
Yes, I had two tabs open the spreadsheet. I have deleted one of them. So
no, I'm glad I asked you about that. All right, well, let's get into it here, man, because we are walking we're walking crazy paths here today. Because we got to get from Castoreum, which is what do they call that? An additive, a food additive? Is that what we're calling it?
Sure.
A yellowish exudate from the castor sacs of mature beavers. Oh, what a nice way of saying that. Anal beaver juice, beaver anal juice. I don't know how you say it, but that's what it is. But we got to get to this TV show that was about some sort of cop, and it's a comedy. So where are we going? There's not a lot on here, my man.
It's so true. It's a very short page.
It is a very short page. I'm looking. There's a lot of chemicals on here. I see.
I feel like I feel like the obvious connection is to go through 6-methyl-L-heptanol. I feel like that's going to take us where we want to go.
I don't know. I feel like that's almost like going a geographical route. It's just too obvious. So,
all right. Well, how about 4-methoxyacetylphone, Nino?
Yeah, sure. I guess if you want it to be like a super short episode, come on, we gotta make it a little harder on ourselves.
Fair enough. All right. How about this? How about Chanel?
Chanel?
Yes.
What do you like about Chanel?
So, I know very little about the show Sledgehammer. I know Peter Gabriel as the theme song, and I know David Rash from Succession is in the cast. So I feel like those are our most promising ways to get there. And I feel like Chanel has always had like celebrity spokespeople, celebrity models and whatnot. So it could theoretically get us into the world of celebrities and artists far better than monoterpenes could.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm going to say. I think there's another path. And I think that path takes us in through perhaps other comic television shows about police. Maybe a Barney Miller, maybe a Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Maybe even a Cop Rock.
All right. I don't disagree. What on this page do you see that gets us a notch closer to that destination?
So I think, while I don't support their use in any way, a good path to that might be cigarettes. I think cigarette is going to get us into a page that is at some point going to discuss the banning of cigarette use in various forms of television and media and things along those lines. And that's going to take us along the right path that we need to go on. All
right. So what I'm hearing is Matt Hartman likes cigarettes.
No, you're putting words and tobacco in my mouth. And I don't like the flavor of either of those things.
You know what, Matt? I would never blow smoke up your whatever. But yeah, you know what? I think you're onto something. Let's go with cigarettes.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Let's see where that takes. It's got to be a big page, right?
One would think.
And indeed, look at this.
Unless it was unnaturally cut short by cancer.
Oh, yes. Well, but those lungs get huge with all the terrible gunk that gets in there. So, kids, don't smoke.
Yeah.
Although I will say, I think Jethro is going to be a big fan of the whole anti-smoking campaigns. Because I don't know if you know this or not, Jethro, but the first country to introduce a large-scale anti-smoking campaign was Nazi Germany. And I know what a huge fan you are of, all of that. So yeah, I see why you're on the side of
Yeah. Wow. What a fun thing you've just made up for yourself.
I haven't made that up. It's right here. It's right here in the first section. The one.
Does it say Jethro Nolan, huge fan of Nazi Germany?
Nolan, huge fan of Nazi Germany.
Okay.
Look, man, you're the one that keeps bringing up the Nazis. I don't know what to tell you.
I feel like you are exclusively the one who has. So is there a like cigarettes and pop culture? Because like the film noir detective.
Sure. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that'll get us right in, right? With detectives and film noir. Yeah. I love it. Where's that? Do you see that anywhere in here?
Not at all.
No, me neither. I don't see anything about that. I see there's a lot of stuff about like smoking, carcinogens, heavy metals, nanoparticles. You guys aware of nanoparticles out there? Keep your eyes open. You're not going to see them, but keep your eyes open anyway. We'll get in there. Carcinogenic. Hey, cigarettes cause cancer, Jethro. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Surprise.
It is what a fun path you've led us down.
This is a terrible page. I'm sorry that we're here. Smoking age is on here. Taxation. Youth smoking is on here. Smoking among youth and adolescents. That's its own page. Oh my gosh. If you mouse over that, the photo is horrific.
Okay.
There's a small child smoking a pipe. Oh, Lord. And like not a drawing either. Like this is a photograph of a small child smoking a pipe. Okay, I see retail display ban. So that's kind of that's in another country though. What else are we looking for here? Plain cigarette packaging. But there's nothing in here about. I really would thought there was going to be some sort of about the ban of the use of cigarettes in media, and don't you remember when they had all that going on?
Yeah. So there is, under the external links section, which I know you hate, there is
we can't use that section.
A culture section.
Yeah, we're not allowed to use that though. So.
Which has a smoking fetishism section.
Mm-hmm.
But you're saying we're not allowed to use that.
Well, I mean that's established. That's established in our code of conduct. So
yeah. So let me ask you this. So at the top of the page, there is a link. In fact, it's the last link of the first sentence. A cigarette is a narrow cylinder containing a combustible material, typically tobacco, that is rolled into a thin paper for smoking. And smoking is linked.
Okay.
So if we want to get into like smoking in culture, smoking in film noir or cop shows, like I feel like I think you had a good impulse to get us here.
Yeah.
I feel like smoking might be more of the cultural phenomenon of smoking rather than a cigarette, which it seems like this Wikipedia page was written by a bunch of killjoys who don't want kids to enjoy the fresh, invigorating rush of nicotine in their lungs.
No, I would tend to agree with you. I think that's probably good. I was looking at that. There's a list of notable cigarette brands down here, and you can like click on them. And I was wondering if Camel might be the way to go, because I know there was a big to-do about the fact there was an animated camel and so on and so forth. But or Marlboro with the Marlboro Man, that whole situation. Yeah. I think that there's a chance that might take us there, but I think your idea of smoking might be the better path. Yeah, I think that might be the way to go.
Let's light it up.
All right, from cigarettes to smoking. Gosh.
All right, now this does have a huge society and culture.
Oh, yes, section. Yes. I see film and television as its own section here.
Indeed. Let's dig in.
Yeah.
It's film noir is linked here.
Film noir is linked here, as are several actors and actresses, but they are not current by any stretch of the imagination. So
Marlene Dietrich, Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
I feel like film noir at least gets us into entertainment about law enforcement.
That is true. I do see Sherlock Holmes is also linked on here, which is again, related to law enforcement. And I mean, I know that there have been television shows, things like Sherlock and Elementary and things like that are based off of Sherlock Holmes. So film noir, while it gets us into that type of entertainment, Sherlock Holmes may get us into television entertainment a little bit more quickly. What do you think about that?
I'm going to push back on you for the first time in this episode. I feel like film noir, first of all, Sherlock is a literary character.
Oh, he is, for sure.
And so we would probably be a link or two away before we ever got to television. And even if we got to...
I don't think that's correct, but okay. Keep going, sorry.
Even if we got to television, like most of the portrayals of Sherlock Holmes have been of a dramatic nature. I feel like film noir casts a broader net.
But film noir is 100% dramatic. I mean, there's no comedy in film noir aside from Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid, perhaps.
But film noir has inspired comedies.
Yes, for sure. But as has Sherlock, right? Without a Clue is a comedic movie. Sherlock Holmes is the main character. Well, you could argue that John Watson's the main character, but I feel like there is the possibility here of Sherlock Holmes getting us to that a little more quickly. Now, I see that you're saying no, and I can't prove it to you. So I guess we just have to end the podcast because we don't.
Okay,
agree.
There it is, folks. It's been a good run.
It really has. I've really enjoyed what I've done, and but I'm definitely not going to change what I have to say, and you're not going to change what you have to say, unless maybe a compromise. Maybe something that splits the difference between film noir and Sherlock Holmes.
All right. I feel like you would not have broached this unless you had a compromise in mind. What is that compromise?
I think it's Vincent Van Gogh.
I feel like
no, I don't think it's Vincent Van Gogh. I will say that Marlon Brando is linked on here, and I think that Marlon Brando might not be a bad path.
Explain your thinking behind that.
Well, Marlon Brando did a lot of different types of movies. He didn't really do any television, of course, but I think that there's a chance that I'm trying to find a way to make it better than film noir, and I can't. It's the same problem that film noir has, so I can't get out of it.
I don't think film noir has a problem. I feel like film noir casts a much broader net than Sherlock Holmes does, and I feel like there we go.
I don't disagree with you to cast a wider net. I'm just saying that I think that Sherlock Holmes is gonna focus us in on what we need a little bit more quickly.
I
disagree.
I hear the words you're saying, and you are wrong. I will say this though, Matt.
I'm just wrong.
Matt.
Yeah.
In the first link, you said cigarettes.
I did.
And I immediately agreed with you.
You did.
And I went along with you.
Weird.
So I feel like I know it's very out of character. I feel like you owe me one. And I feel like
no. I went with smoking. I went with smoking for you. So really it's kind of my
that wasn't even my idea. That was me improving upon your idea to go through cigarettes.
Standing on the shoulders of giants.
Indeed.
All right, Jethro. I'll go to film noir under protest.
I'm totally fine with that.
I know you are. I know you don't care.
As long as I get what I want.
Yeah. As long as you get what you want in the end.
There we go.
To the depths you descend. All right. So what do we got here?
It's a long page. Film noir
is a long page. I see gangster film.
A rich and storied history.
I see a link that may not be too bad for us.
Really? What might that be?
I see police procedural.
Ooh.
No, I understand.
Where do you see that?
This is not a police procedural that we're trying to go to. It is under definition. It says film noir similarly embraces a variety of genres from the gangster film to the police procedural, which when you mouse over it says the police procedural, police show, or police crime drama is a subgenre of procedural drama and detective fiction that emphasizes blah, 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 blah. So that might be a path. Screwball comedy is also linked on here.
So Matt, I see a link that I feel like might be a little bit quicker for us to take.
Uh-oh. Do you see the link for Sledgehammer?
I do. Sledgehammer.
No, you don't.
I do.
Where?
Go down to parodies.
Oh my God.
And in the third paragraph, in other media, the television series Sledgehammer lampoons noir along with such topics as capital punishment, gun fetishism, and dirty Harry incest.
It's right there.
It's right there.
This is insanity.
And you didn't want to come here.
I didn't.
Let the record show.
I said under protest. Under protest.
Want to come to film noir.
I know.
Let's click on it, baby.
Oh my good Lord. There it is. I thought it was all one word for some reason. I don't know why.
I think in the song, like if you look at the disambiguation link,
yeah,
it is all one word. I think the song is all. I feel like if memory serves, like the guy was like Detective Hammer or something, or Sledgehammer.
Oh, his name was
Inspector Sledgehammer. Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay. Well, don't read too much about this because, of course, we have to go out of this kind of short page. Indeed, only 2 seasons. There is a picture here of I see the cover of the season 1 DVD collection, which is fantastic. And it was on ABC, so we were right.
Yes,
it wasn't NBC.
Chad listed 2 of the 3 major networks and got it right,
and that was one of them. Unbelievable. Well, that's amazing that it's considered a parody of film noir. I never would have guessed that, and I can't believe it was linked on that page. But it was, and we've done it. And is this not quite our shortest walk? It's tied for our shortest walk of the season. It took us 4 links to get here, from Castoreum to cigarette to smoking to film noir to Sledgehammer, and we've done it. Jethro,
that is amazing.
Congratulations, we've done it.
Thank you. congratulations to you, sir.
We should talk about our wagers, our guesses, our bets. I went with 5 for mine.
Ooh, that
And
is so close.
Oh no,
that is not. So close, Matt.
You did
the
not.
The only thing that would be closer than guessing 5 would be guessing half of what I guessed, which was 8.
You guessed 8.
So I guessed 8. So yeah, I thought it was going to be fucking terrible getting. I had no faith in us whatsoever, and I should have gone with Sherlock because it would have taken us much longer.
It might have, yeah. It definitely would have taken us.
Might have.
It would have taken us longer for sure. There's no way that Sledgehammer was on the Sherlock page. That is for darn sure. It would have taken us. Yeah, you're right. It would have taken us way longer to get there from Sherlock. I am curious though if Sherlock Holmes had like any kind of link to. I guess it would have been television. Then it would have been something else. Yeah, you really ruined yourself. Which, Jethro, that kind of plays against the whole thing that you've set up here. That you're cheating at this. It doesn't seem as much like you're doing that now.
Yeah, it's almost as if I want to get there as quickly as possible, and I'm doing my best to guess at how quickly that will be. Yeah,
that's weird. I mean, the way you've made it sound previously is that you weren't doing that. You were sandbagging. You were cheating. You had a bunch of different things written down. You made it sound like you just weren't doing it correctly, I guess.
No, I feel like I've never done that.
It's the way you've made it sound. I mean, that's
you've
never
constantly accused me of cheating.
I would never imply anything
and produce zero evidence.
No, I would never,
there too.
Ever.
This has been fun.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Sherlock Holmes page right now, and it definitely would have taken us. We would have gone through another TV show or something. Maybe we would have gone through Miss Sherlock, a 2018 television adaptation with a Japanese language production.
Very unlikely that we would have gone through
that. This is crazy. I have to check out this show, this Sledgehammer show. I've never heard of it. I thought that I had some idea in my head of what it was, and after seeing the picture that was on there, no, not at all. Definitely not.
I feel like so. Watch it and then tell me whether or not you feel it is a broad comedy.
I can already. I looked at the cover of the DVD. I know that it is.
There we go.
Just looking at the way that the picture is, I can tell you that it must be. Like it has.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, I say congratulations, Jethro.
I thank you
on bringing us a fantastic guest in Chad. It was nice to meet him. I hope he knows that I certainly don't wish him any ill. Feel terrible. That kind of spiraled out of control on me there, and
I just got a text from his widow, and sadly,
good Lord.
He died disconnecting from our Zoom call.
Oh no! Was he broadcasting from the van at least?
Sadly, no. He never got to see it finished.
He never. Oh man, that's the worst.
No, Chad is an incredibly good guy and a dear friend, and I'm delighted that you enjoyed his company as much as I have for 30 some odd years.
Very much, very much. I'm happy that he's on here. Thanks again, Chad. If you're listening, I'm sure you're not, because why?
Oh no, he will not listen to this.
But he probably listened to his part and then he shut it off, which that's what I would do.
Immediately,
so I get it. I 100% get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there we go. So Jethro will be back next week. We're closing in on Christmas here, buddy. We
are getting close.
Only about 12, 13 days left till Christmas. So I hope all of you have done your Christmas shopping if you celebrate. If you don't celebrate, I hope you've done your other winter shopping, like for groceries and whatnot, I guess.
There you go.
I don't know what else you're going to get, but happy everything to everyone. And we'll see y'all next week.
Cheers.